I would suggest at every moment here, from when the door opens, certainly when the punch is thrown, that this woman in the car, absent some unknown information that might change the analysis, small changes in facts can result in big changes in legal outcomes. But based on only what we can see here in the video, that she would be legally justified in using deadly force to defend herself against this attack. But remember, we talk about the requirement of imminence. And by the way, this little cheat sheet, folks, we make available for free. If you don't understand these 5 elements of self-defense, you can't possibly understand the law of self-defense. You can get this cheat sheet. It lists the 5 elements, a brief description of each. It's just a PDF download. You can get it at lawofselfdefense.com/elements. Get it for free. But one of those elements is the element of imminence, meaning the threat you're defending yourself against is either in progress or immediately about to occur. It's not a past threat. It's not a future threat. And that imminence can be thought of as a window that opens and closes. Before it opens, you don't yet have an imminent threat. When it opens, you are facing an imminent threat. But then the window can close, right? Threats don't exist forever. And once the threat no longer exists, you no longer have the element of imminence. You no longer have a legal justification of self-defense. So does the element of imminence end when the car is now driving away? Is he still an imminent deadly force threat to her at this moment? I would suggest not. I mean, he doesn't have a projectile weapon in hand. He doesn't have a gun in hand. We have no evidence to infer that he has a gun. He engaged in a, contact weapon attack, the fist. And so I would suggest the window of imminence is closed. If this woman just continues driving away and she decides to shoot backwards at him as she's driving away, that would look sketchy as hell to me, because the threat is closed. Then the car stops. This gentleman looks like he dropped his phone or something when he punched her. Hopefully he broke his phone. He picks up his stuff. The car stops. And the door opens. She's opening the door now. So what's happening here? Well, we'd have to talk to her, right? What's in her mind that's happening here? Is there an explanation consistent with innocence for her stopping the car and opening the door? Maybe she decided, you know what? This guy just punched me. I want to charge him. I'm going to get a picture of him that I can show to the police when I file charges. That would be an explanation consistent with innocence for why she stopped the car, opened her door. On the other hand, maybe she decided, you know what? This guy just punched me. I'm going to shoot him, even though I don't have to anymore. You don't get to punch me and just walk away. So I got my gun out of the glove box. I'm going to stop, open the door. I'm either going to shoot him where he stands, or if he approaches, I'll shoot him as he gets closer. That would be an explanation not consistent with innocence. Right? That would look like she's now a deadly force aggressor in a second fight. Now, of course, the man stupidly manages to complicate even this by not getting shot where he stands, but by advancing on the car again. He's already punched her. He's substantially larger than her, so there's a disparity in size argument there. And I have a bonus video for you that I didn't promote for this show that illustrates the role that disparity in size, disparity of numbers can play in a confrontation. And we already know he's willing to lean into the car and punch her, right? Enter that highly defensible space again. And this, of course, is where she actually shoots him. Is this defensible? Well, it's much more complicated than if she shot him here, because more things have happened. She could have just driven away, right? Call the police. Now, of course, she's a woman. He's a large male. And when we talk about fists, normally I talk about traditional fist fights not being treated by the court as a deadly force confrontation, even though we know fists can and do kill people, right? Single punches can and do kill people. Rarely is the problem. As a percentage of the total number of punches thrown, it's relatively rare, very rare, for death or serious bodily injury to result. So it's invariably going to be treated by the courts as non-deadly force, attack against which only non-deadly force can be used unless there are aggravating circumstances. So the non-deadly force nature basically presumes that the two people throwing punches are of similar size, strength, and fighting ability. But what if that's not the case? What if one is substantially larger than the other, or stronger than the other, or has an exceptional fighting ability the other doesn't have? Then they're not evenly matched anymore. Then the punch being thrown by the larger, stronger, more fight-capable aggressor, person, participant, may be of a nature that it can readily inflict death or serious bodily injury to the victim, the smaller, weaker, less fight-capable victim. And that could make it a deadly force confrontation, even though it's just a fist. And those factors, smaller, weaker, less fight capable, tend to be baked into the cake when the aggressor is a large male and the victim is a much smaller female. So that would be the argument you would make on behalf of the woman, even here when these shots happen.